right, let's get into it. For nearly a decade, there was this one video game tournament that was just on another level. Not just because of the crazy high-level play, but because of its jaw-dropping, record-smashing prize money. This is the story of how Dota 2 built a $40 million empire and then kind of just let it all go. $40 million. Yep. In 2021, that was the actual prize pool for Dota 2's World Championship, the International. Now, to give you some perspective, the next biggest prize in all of esports history was the Fortnite World Cup, and that was less than half this amount. This was a peak nobody had ever seen before, the result of years and years of just explosive growth. So yeah, that's the big question, right? That's the mystery we're gonna unpack. How in the world did this happen? What was the secret sauce that turned a video game tournament into this financial behemoth? And maybe the craziest part, once you've built a machine that literally prints money, why on earth would you ever turn it off? To figure this out, we have to go all the way back to 2013. This is when Dota 2's developer, a company called Valve, introduced an idea that would completely change the game for esports forever. It was called the Compendium. And the concept behind it was just beautiful in its simplicity. For just $10, players could buy this digital booklet right inside the game. And it wasn't just something you read, it was totally interactive. You could make your predictions, you could cheer on your favorite teams. It made you feel like you were part of the biggest tournament of the year, even if you were just watching from home. So here's where the magic really happened. Valve would put up an initial prize of $1.6 million. But, and this was the masterstroke, for every single one of those $10 compendiums that was sold, 25% of it, so $2.50, went straight into the prize pool. The players themselves were literally funding the spectacle. And wow, the power of that idea was obvious right away. The community response was just massive. In its very first year, the prize pool jumped by over $1 million. Valve had just proven that if you have a passionate fan base, they are more than willing to directly support the pro scene that they love so much. But you see, the compendium, that was just the beginning. Valve knew they were onto something huge, and so that simple digital booklet evolved into this content-packed monster called the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass basically took that core idea from the compendium and just supercharged it. It wasn't just about following the tournament anymore. Oh no, it became a game within the game. It was jam-packed with exclusive, limited-time cosmetic items for your heroes, special events, and tons of other digital goodies you could only get for a few months a year. I mean, we're talking about these incredibly detailed new outfits for characters, unique sound effects you could spam, and even fun little side things like the Shopkeeper's Quiz, which would test how well you knew the game's items. It created this massive sense of FOMO, fear of missing out. It drove players to not just buy the pass, but to keep spending money to level it up so they could unlock everything before it was gone forever. And the effect this had on the prize pool was, well, it was astronomical. You can see it right here. From 2.8 million in 2013, it jumps to 18 million by 2015. And by 2021, it hits that legendary, mind-blowing $40 million peak. But look at the end of that timeline. Just 2 years later, a catastrophic drop all the way down to 3.3 million. And that right there is the turning point of this whole story. So what happened? You have this strategy that's clearly making you and the pro players an absolutely insane amount of money. And then in 2023, Valve makes this shocking announcement. They were killing the Battle Pass. So their official reasoning was all about a change in philosophy. See, that Battle Pass took a ton of development resources. They were basically cramming an entire year's worth of new content into one short exclusive window. And Valve decided this just wasn't healthy for the game anymore. Their new goal was to spread all that content out, to release updates all year long that everyone could enjoy, not just the people who bought a Battle Pass. And the consequence of that decision? It was immediate and it was severe. Without all those shiny, exclusive cosmetics driving sales, the prize pool just fell off a cliff. As you can see, in 2024, it's sitting at just over $2 million. It's a tiny fraction of what it used to be. So the replacement was basically a return to their roots. They brought back a new, much simpler compendium that was once again focused only on the esports tournament itself. They had intentionally decoupled the game's biggest content drops from its biggest tournament. This whole decision has fundamentally changed the landscape for Dota 2. It is a bold, bold new strategy, and it really seems to prioritize the long-term health of the game over the massive headline-grabbing spectacle of the prize pool. And Valve is really sticking to this new plan. They've already put out major free updates like one called Crowdfunding, making good on their promise of more consistent content. The whole idea is to create a better, more dynamic game for everybody, all year round, instead of just pouring all their energy into a single 3-month event. And as you can probably imagine, the community is split right down the middle on this. On one side, you have the optimists. They believe that a healthier game that gets updated more often will in the long run attract and keep more players. But then you have the skeptics. And they argue that the $40 million prize pool was Dota's identity. It put the game on the map. And without it, they worry the international just doesn't matter as much anymore. And really, that's what it all boils down to, isn't it? What's more valuable in the long run? Is it better to have a game that's consistently healthy and updated for everyone who plays it, or is it better to have that one massive record-breaking event that gets the whole world's attention once a year? Valve has made their choice, and now the entire world of esports is watching to see how it all plays out.